Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 501 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by POGauctions.com, Pot of Gold Estate Auctions, where you set the price on guns, coins, ammo, jewelry, accessories, antiques, collectibles, you name it. POGauctions.com. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is protecting privacy to preserve freedom. And our guest is Eric Watson. Eric is a candidate for Ohio State Representative in House District 88. Eric and his wife are the owners of Watson's Hat Shop in Cave Creek, which is a slice of American history and ingenuity. Eric is a Christian and has a love for our nation and the constitutional protections, including our Second Amendment that we inherited from our founding fathers.
Welcome back to the show, Eric.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. So I love when I see citizens step forward and put their name in the hat and take this whole civic process seriously. But sometimes I think, what has possessed you to start swimming with snakes and sharks?
I'll tell you what, it's a calling. Simple as that. Was on my journey with my wife, Emily, as you know, and we came back here to Ohio in 2022, made that transition and wanted to come back here, be with our aging family. And I just saw what was happening, the amount of corruption I was hearing about, and the things that were occurring that were going to infringe on our constitutional rights that state elected officials are allowing to occur, or even local elected officials for that matter. So I just felt somebody's got to do something. And as a successful small business owner, I want to make sure that we are putting our communities first, putting our small businesses, which are the backbone, first, and really making sure in the process that our constitutional rights are protected.
Well, I really admire that. And I know that anytime somebody steps into service, it is a family event. So thank you to Emily as well for
Yes.
being supportive of this. Every once in a while somebody will ask me, when are you going to run for office, Cheryl? And I think, first of all, my daughter will paper cut me because she always says, the media is so intrusive, and your opposition just makes up horrible things about you, and it just really puts you in a completely different place in your life than you've ever been before.
Yep.
And so I understand why, some of the reasons why I'm not stepping forward, and I very much appreciate what
I don't
you do.
want her to, but then we go to the Capitol and spend the day at the Capitol, and I go, you need to be doing this. So
Because I do understand the Constitution. If I do take that oath, I do understand it. And so many people don't. And I think that's maybe some of the case with the person that you are up against there in Ohio, who is a Republican, at least in name, right? And is the incumbent, is actually has been serving in that position. Clearly he must be not fully serving to his full potential, or you wouldn't have stepped in. Can you
Well, he's been
talk to us a little
serving
about
long
that?
enough that this would be his last term if he gets elected.
So you
And
could have just waited it out. What made you say, no, this is the time. I got to come in now.
because we got so many serious issues happening at the national level as well as the state level, but I can't focus on everything. There's too much, but at least I'd be able to speak up and represent the people of District 88 in Seneca County and in Sandusky County here in Ohio. Because my Watsons, came here in 1832. They're still here. There's something about this area that I love. I grew up here, born and raised, and I just want to help protect the agricultural and the wildlife environment that we have. And we are in really serious trouble here in Ohio because we're the fourth most proliferated state in the nation with AI data centers right now.
So to the average person, they're like, okay, so it's a data center. I guess it takes up a big footprint of our land. Like, what else do we care about?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
why is this a danger for us? Can you articulate that?
Yeah, so we have there's several things that surround this. Number one is that electricity rates are going up because of the demand of these data centers that require the amount needed, which is usually 50 gigawatts to 1 terawatt on average for a larger data center. They leave a big footprint in the land, and the infrastructure needed in order to support these things increases the amount of high power tension lines that are going to need to be required as well. Secondly, the amount of water.
Hmm.
Well, they're targeting Ohio because we have a huge aquifer underneath our land in Ohio, and we have the Great Lakes too.
Hmm.
So they're targeting Ohio specifically because of our natural resources, and the infrastructure is cheaper to do it here
Hmm.
because our how our energy grid is set up. But they want to actually take this water out of the aquifer, million gallons daily, put it in a closed loop system, and then as it travels through that closed loop system and they use a cooling agent inside there, they then discharge that water into the farmland or into the waterways or the watersheds. Um, this is going to become an issue environmentally, and our governor is actually has talked with the Ohio EPA and asked them to streamline the process of regulation so that this can be done. But at what point are they not listening anymore to the constituents? And they aren't. They're not listening to the people of Ohio anymore. It's all about big tech, lobbyists, and this whole AI data center agenda that's going on. And it's really wrong in what they're doing. And it's unconstitutional because those people have a right to their voice and they're now being silenced, and they have no representation that's really showing up in fortitude saying, hey, no, we're not doing this. I'm going back to the state house and I'm going to make sure that I'm a voice for my constituents and the people I represent. It's not being done by our current representative. So it's a big reason why I'm running. On top of that, we have other issues. We now know that people have given testimony to their water wells being impacted directly because of AI data centers that were set up later and became operational, and now their wells don't work.
Oh,
Yeah,
so because the water's being harvested by the data center, so
the
it's
amount of
lowering your water table? Is that what's going on?
well, it's actually causing erosion. The amount of water that's coming and being pulled underground, and then those wells are connected to that aquifer area. The amount that's being pulled daily so much is causing erosion around those well areas, so that large sediment, then the person goes in their house and then they got large sediment that's plugging up their plumbing and their filtration systems.
Oh.
Um, it's a real problem here in Ohio. You guys are in Arizona, so water's like really, really important to you guys
Mm-hmm.
because you get it from the canal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Primarily, here we got aquifers that people's wells are tied into. So makes it a bit different in perspective of that, but we're an agricultural state. That is what Ohio is. We
Mm-hmm.
got farms and we got farmland of crops all across. I mean, that's what we are. We're agriculture, but and wildlife on top of that. But nobody at the state level wants to say, whoa, we need to stop this right now. We need to put a moratorium in place. We need to assess what is happening because right now, with the data centers that are being pushed onto us that aren't built yet, along with the ones that are operating, about roughly 197 they're operating, um, it's going to put us at 220 data centers across the entire state of Ohio. And
Wow.
my opponent actually supports legislation to go a step further with House Bill 116 that's sitting in the Senate committee right now. And what it does is it lays out a welcome mat for what's called digital asset mining businesses. And these digital asset mining businesses are nothing more than cryptocurrency data centers. It literally says in the bill on page 40 that as long as there's industrial zoning in an area of Ohio, the digital asset mining business can move right on into it as long as they meet the requirements.
Interesting. And,
So,
we've all been, kind of like love and hating AI and all of this digitizing of our lives.
mhm,
But I don't think that enough of us really understand and appreciate exactly these things that you are breaking down and articulating for us. And you have the unique perspective that you did live in Arizona for a long time in Cave
yep,
Creek. And so
yep,
you understand a lot about Arizona and water
yeah,
issues and all that sort of thing. And now you're in Ohio.
yep,
And I just for a second, I want to say that several of the really amazing endorsements that you've gotten have come from Arizona people. Talk about
yeah,
that just real quick, and then we'll come back
yeah.
over to.
So, of course, America's sheriff, Mark Lamb, great man, and endorsed by President Trump. And he's running for U.S. Congress, fifth district, right?
I believe it's fifth. Yes.
Yes, and he gave me his endorsement. And you talk to him, they don't just throw endorsements out.
No.
They know he knows the type of individual that I am to my core, and so he graciously gave me his endorsement. So I thank him very much for that. Also, Chris Cox, founder of Bikers for Trump, presidential appointee to the Advisory Council for Department of Homeland Security. He gave me his endorsement. Very thankful for that as well. And also our sitting sheriff right now, Sheriff Jerry Sheridan, really great man. He gave me his endorsement, and uh, God bless them all because this isn't just about politics anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
firmly believe this is about us and our country and
Mm-hmm.
individuals stepping forward to bring awareness to the fact that our constitutional rights are going to be infringed on, or they already are being infringed on
Mm-hmm.
because of these different policies from big tech that are being pushed onto us.
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm going to say under the guise at this point of a AI data center global race, because if you take all of almost nearly 5,500 data centers across the entire nation here in the US, it almost comes up to the whole number of data centers for many of the countries that we're racing against as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're leaps and bounds ahead of it. I feel as if big tech is now taking advantage of the AI executive order to remove barriers that's in place right now. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I bring that up is because they have such deep pockets.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking World Bank donor deep pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also using other company names to cover up who the umbrella company is for that data center.
Hmm.
And we have digital mining businesses, by the way, Bitcoin mining businesses, they're called, that are actually in Ohio that were implemented back around 2020, 2021, I believe. And they're Chinese companies. I was like, well, this is interesting. What are we doing? Because right now it seems like big tech's got us bent over a barrel, along with China. And for what?
Mm-hmm.
For convenience of AI. I mean, I was happy with the cloud the way it was many years ago. What, 20 years ago with the Apple Cloud? Remember the Apple Cloud?
Yeah.
We didn't have all this crazy push. So I started like investigating. I was like, what else is going on here? Because something doesn't smell right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seems off and it seems against us. And also, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley brought it up when all those companies with what is it, AI chatbot GT,
Yeah.
um, when the parents showed up to the hearing at the U.S. Senate and Senator Josh Hawley was there, and there was no representation of the AI companies that were present when parents were giving testimony to the fact that AI, chatbot GT, had convinced their children how to commit suicide.
Mm.
And not only that, told them exactly how in the process of how to commit the act of suicide on themselves.
Mm. Wow.
It, these people um, are, these big tech companies, if they truly cared about about us as humans and our human life and our dignity, wouldn't they have showed up or at least sent a representative there to show up on that day? Um,
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Senator Josh Hawley said you might as well take the floor of the U.S. Senate and change it and put big tech on it because nothing
Ooh.
passes this floor without big tech's signature or approval.
Wow.
It's
We
all
have
money. It's all
yeah,
money. It's all
money,
it is. Yeah.
money. And we, the people, are supposed to be put first. First. The Constitution says that it's about us. It's about our rights,
Mm-hmm.
not big tech's rights, not global
Mm-hmm.
agenda rights, but it's about we the people. And we're in Ohio, other states too, I know, um, we're being put second.
Mm-hmm.
We're no longer being represented as we're the main concern and put at the top. We are now second. In some cases, we might even be third. I don't even know, but we are not first anymore in a lot of cases. And this is one of the big reasons I'm running because somebody's got to sound the alarm. Somebody has to understand the Constitution. You have to understand the Constitution right now because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, that may be the only piece of paper that we have that we're able to fall back on when we go up against all this. And I'm starting to see that. And it's definitely the case. I want to bring up the AI executive order, which the National Security Memorandum sits within.
Okay.
Nobody wants to look at this. I gave testimony at the Ohio House about 3 weeks ago on this fact because the National Security Memorandum supersedes the AI executive order. The National Security Memorandum, in the third sentence down in the overview, third sentence down, these specific words in this sentence were purposely chose. And it says, through this memorandum, agencies are directed to improve services to the public. So increased electricity rates is not that's not improving public services, by the way,
Mm.
or service to the
Mm-hmm.
public, right? That's just one thing. And then it says while maintaining strong safeguards. It uses the word strong and safeguards,
Mm-hmm.
okay? While maintaining strong safeguards for civil rights, civil liberties, and privacy.
Mm.
Wow, that's not happening because
Mm-hmm.
constituents are being silenced right now. They're not being heard anymore. They're not being paid attention to anymore. No, what do? We get lip service that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, because of the AI executive order, big tech and data center developers can do whatever they want pretty much. Um, but we're not hearing the other side of what is supposed to be done while this process is occurring. And that just shows you right there, like you said, money, all
Mm-hmm.
about money.
Yeah.
It's not about our rights anymore. It is not about we the people. It's all about money and lobbyists and special interests. And it's really getting on my nerves, and it's getting on many people's nerves across this district that I'm running for, District 88. The farmers, they don't want the data centers. The only people who want data centers if they're making a lot of money. It's the only
Mm-hmm.
people that want them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm
Um,
concerned that
so
you earlier you talked about how the water they pump like 1 million gallons of water out and then they put it back.
yeah.
And is there any chemicals going back in that water when they do that, or it's just the
Well,
water itself?
they use somewhat of a cooling agent
And if that
in
touches
that,
the water and it goes back in, then what are the end results of that going to be? And then I
well,
look at also the electricity thing. We've heard about that here too. These plants that
hmm
they're building out here, and in my opinion, if they're going to vote those in, then whatever expenses they have to build the expenses, not the
yeah,
public.
yep,
But the politicians have a way to squeeze that out so that they get their benefits, money
right.
or whatever they get, or special interests, and
Well,
then the taxpayers are stuck to pay for it.
that's right. That's right. But there is something else that nobody's talking about, and this has already been proven, and especially since Ohio's an agricultural state, and this goes for any big agricultural state, by the way, because I gave testimony to this as well, because this is also found in the International Journal um, on Entomology for Research, and also it's found in the National Institute of Health Medical Library. This has already been documented, it's been cited, it's been proven. You can find it elsewhere as well. But there is no infrastructure planning for these data centers that are being built and constructed as far as what's called EMF shielding.
Hmm.
There's no major EMF shielding being put in place. The reason I bring that up is because that's called electromagnetic frequency. All right. Even with low non-ionizing electromagnetic frequency radiation, that is just a byproduct, by the way, of large amounts of energy that flow into these big electrical device such as a data center with servers and all kinds of stuff. And it emits out what's called this low non-ionizing EMF radiation.
Hmm.
Um, a large concentrated footprint of this stuff can go out for miles of radius around these centralized locations. There's no shielding in place, no major shielding in the infrastructure. So, three things are already scientifically proven to be detrimentally impacted by this EMF radiation at low non-ionizing levels, even. Bees, pollinators, and birds.
Mm,
It stresses
mm,
them out because they have a magnetic compass within inside their body that God's placed inside them.
mm-hmm,
And for the bees, they can't find their hives, they get stressed out, they die. It creates a depopulation of the honeybee population,
mm,
as well as pollinators. The birds then start to have issues with migration patterns and then nesting, finding their way around. Perhaps they get stressed. We need all three of these things. The insects are eaten by the birds. Okay? The farmers know this. Secondly, the pollinators and the honeybees are needed for crop yield to occur.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
What, I mean, seriously, what are we doing anymore? Like, this is completely not for humanity anymore. This is for an entirely different agenda. And we're supposed to be, as a Christians, we're supposed to be stewards. We're
mm-hmm,
supposed to be stewards of God's creations. And
mm,
instead, what are we doing? We're destroying his creation. And so I think we need to pull back. We need to start looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
And Christians need to start looking at this a little bit closer because EMF radiation over long exposure rates has already been proven to be detrimental to human beings as well.
Hmm.
So this is not good. These are
And
not good things.
what is the payoff? The payoff is, a further digitized society, more surveillance systems, a surveillance state. Like, am I thinking in the right direction? I get that's the trade-off. We kill our honeybees, we kill off our birds. We're gonna have insects,
Yeah,
rampant on our crops, that maybe aren't going to grow anyway because the honeybees aren't pollinating.
yeah.
And then what's the upside?
Well, there isn't really much of one. That's the thing. The data centers, by the way, we're finding out they're only going to be employing between 10 to 80 employees on average.
Those
Hmm.
Something
huge,
that takes
huge
up,
plants are going to
yeah,
that low.
yeah,
Hmm.
500 to, 700-acre facility.
And
And then they
80
take up even
employees.
more footprint because of the parking lots and everything else that goes
Mm-hmm.
around them. But yeah, get to back to the surveillance state system. Um, in Ohio, we have, well, my opponent, Representative Click, he actually supports legalized digital ID. And DeSantis and Governor DeSantis in Florida, he banned it. He banned it from the beginning. He said, we will not have digital ID, we will not have digital driver's license because it creates government overreach issues for privacy concerns that could infringe on your constitutional rights. Secondly, he supports a data commission bill that just appoints unelected bureaucrats. It has no wording in there for experts, and it also has no delineation for, and I gave testimony on this, has no delineation of appointing a member that would be an advocate for civil rights or constitutional rights. And I
Hmm.
brought that up at the Ohio House as well during my testimony. Thirdly, he also supports legislation for House Bill 116. That is going to lay out a welcome mat for cryptocurrency companies to come in, cryptocurrency data centers, you could call them. They're called digital asset mining businesses, but they're nothing more than a data center for cryptocurrency or some sort of digital asset. Um, and all three of these things, by the way, are foundational blocks in Vietnam right now
Hmm.
for their surveillance state system that they have in place. The only thing
Hmm.
different is we have the Constitution. We have the United States Constitution in our country.
If
But as
it's
far as the,
adhered to, right? Like if
yeah,
we just ignore it, then it doesn't even matter that we have it. And so
yep,
many legislators are just ignoring it and encouraging their citizenry and their constituents to
yep.
ignore it right along with them.
And a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a lot of, well, my opponent has been called out as not reading legislation um, on some other issues, but specifically by Ohio gun owners. Chris Dorr specifically called him out on House Bill 382, which is the SAPA bill here in Ohio, Second Amendment Preservation Act. And my opponent, Representative Click, won't sign it. And so this was in the past, and Chris Dorr said to him, he said, "Okay, Gary, why um did you read the bill? Did you read it?" And he's like, "Well, no, I didn't read it." And
Shocking.
I'm
Let me
like,
find my shocked face.
yeah. So okay. And I tell people, I'm reading the legislation, like with my background in international studies and familiar with reading policies and how those could impact people. Um, I'm doing my due diligence because this doesn't just affect um, the people here in District 88 alone. If I'm elected, it affects myself. It affects
Mm,
myself because I'm a constituent as
hmm.
well. in this district, which I'm running for, I don't want my constitutional rights impacted
Mm-hmm.
um, because of poor decisions. Uh, but these bills I just brought up, they're they're uh, they're supported by signature by my opponent, and the Data Center Study Commission bill, it's just a study commission. It's
Mm-hmm.
research. It's gonna cost millions of dollars. Um, but he actually co-authored that one, and these things are they're first off, that's House Bill 646, that study commission bill, and it's a bias. It's going to be biased because also unelected bureaucrats that are appointed, it could also be lobbyists that they decide to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it could be very biased and not really 100% in favor of the people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I bring that
Oh,
up.
you have an uphill battle there, Eric.
I don't know how you can keep up with it.
We didn't really touch enough on your background and what your education is
Sure.
in, because it would be easy for the other side to discredit you, right? And say,
Yeah.
oh, conspiracy
Yeah.
theorist, and oh,
Yeah.
somebody that's
Oh,
just dramatizing
oh
things,
yeah, my
right?
opponent just last Thursday in the same day, we had two different candidate forums to go to. The first one, he called me a conspiracy theorist, and all I was doing is reporting information that came out in 2023 from the World Economic Forum. And I said, "Well, Gary, if you have a problem with it, I said, why don't you take it up with the World Economic Forum?"
Mm-hmm.
And then the next candidate forum I had, there's usually only 40 people that show up for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 112 people that showed up this time
Oh, wow.
for a primary election.
Wow.
And so this things are stirring in people. People are
Mm-hmm.
not happy in the state of Ohio or in District 88 with what their representation is right now with the establishment ideology that's in place. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
running as America First candidate to
Mm-hmm.
put Ohioans first again, to put we
Mm-hmm.
the people first again. Because if we don't get this right, and you ask, well, why don't you just wait? You said that. Why don't you just wait?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have time to wait anymore.
Yeah.
And I believe Sheriff Lamb knows this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's why he's doing what he's doing, because we don't have time. We have to get in there. We have to get America First candidates in there, and we have to get the moral compass straightened out so that we can get our country back and get our state back and stop all this division that keeps occurring. Because let's just put it this way. I actually have Democrats that are going to vote for me this time that have said that
That's
they will vote for
something.
me. Yeah, it's really something because we're never going to get 100% on the fence with everything, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
reality.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But why? Why can't we just get together on three or four things at least?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because we have this establishment ideology that we constantly have to, I'm sorry, that we constantly have to put the party first
Mm-hmm.
instead of like we the people first and our
Mm-hmm.
constitutional rights first. And uh, we have to get back to what the founders were trying to do. We have to. And I really believe that we
Absolutely.
can with people that we're going to put in there that we're going to vote for that understand these issues and they understand the Constitution, because a lot of people don't. It's sadly that a
Yeah.
lot of people they don't understand the constitutional rights that we still have. And it's we have to educate these individuals again, and we
Well,
even have to educate we have to make sure that the state representatives that we're voting for are for our constitutional rights. They may say that they are,
yes.
but proof is in the pudding. Are they really going to put we the people first at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Because in a lot of cases they're
no,
not.
they're not. And
Yeah.
you are giving voice to people. Just, you're seeing the effects of that by how many more people showed up to the event. Was it the debate you were talking about that
Yeah.
so many people showed up
Yeah.
to?
Yep.
So there's a groundswell. There's people saying, yes, please
Absolutely.
speak for me.
Yeah.
Please
Yes.
be my voice because, nobody else is paying attention.
Yep.
And I guarantee you that your opponent will probably use the fact that, well, Democrats will vote for me, as you said, as well. If Democrats are voting for him, then then Eric's
Yeah.
on the wrong side of this. I
Sure.
know they're going to use that,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I see that as that coalition building, that bipartisanship as a strength
Yep.
that at the end of the day, we are all human beings
Yeah.
that need to drink water. We
Yeah.
need to eat food that's grown on land that's not
Yep.
been poisoned and left barren because of,
Yeah.
the bees and the birds issues. Um, so I very much appreciate you putting your voice into the conversation, and there's
Yep.
so many more things that
Well,
we could talk about.
real quick, Cheryl, if I got just
Mhm.
1 minute.
Sure.
Um, there's there's three issues here in Ohio that are bipartisan. Nobody wants digital ID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, nobody, unless they're making money off of it, they really don't want data centers right against their homes and their communities.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't want a cashless society,
Mm.
which House Bill 116 sets up a cashless society that my opponent supports.
Hmm.
Um, and then they want this is happening in Ohio, but our property taxes in Ohio have gone up 23 to 50% right now on average. Um, and people are losing their homes because they can't pay their increased property taxes, or they're being strapped for cash so much because of inflationary costs or medical costs that have gone up, insurance costs, that sort of thing. And you're going to see it on the ballot this year, but we have what's called abolish property tax. Ohio is moving in the direction to actually put on the ballot to abolish the property tax because people are fed up. I'll tell you why they're fed up. Because we have tons of fraud that's occurring at the state level, and our state elected officials are not even strongly pointing to it and pointing it out. We have $136 million in large suitcases over the last 2 to 3 years that DHS is investigating, that's actually found. All this money has traveled from Columbus International Airport to Minneapolis International Airport to Amsterdam and then onward to Dubai. Literally, our tax dollars, our hard-earned tax dollars, are leaving the country unaccounted for. And on the other hand, they want to mismanage our money, and they want to give uh, a multi-billion-dollar corporation to build a new stadium over $600 million dollars in unclaimed funds, and then they want to fund it with over $1 billion even after it's built.
Mm.
This could be money going to all sorts of other better things at this point. And the people here in Ohio are just I think they're just fed up. And this is why you're seeing a movement from the establishment to an America First candidate that's speaking
Mm-hmm.
up like myself to put we the people first again. Because we have many issues, and people say, well, what does it matter if you're supporting somebody? I have these endorsements from Arizona. Well, let me tell you why. Because data centers are an issue in Arizona. I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's other issues like the water, right? The water issue in Arizona, because people are like, well, we don't want water being used up by data centers. We don't want our electricity rates to go up even higher in Arizona because they're much higher there than Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because as a small business owner, we have to pay these bills every
Mm-hmm.
month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking our wealth away.
Mm-hmm.
Incrementally, these things, big tech, which is they are the richest entities on the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and here in Ohio, at the state level, they're receiving 75% tax abatements on data centers they're being built. And they're
Wow.
the richest entity on the planet. Most of them don't even live here in this
Mm-hmm.
country,
Mm-hmm.
that own these things.
Wow.
And I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The other thing is I support removing toxins and chemicals from our food supply. I've
Hmm.
talked with my opponent. He still has been reluctant to sign HR number 14 that urges Congress to remove toxins and chemicals from the food supply. Very simple thing. We don't need extra chemicals and toxins in our food. It's
Hmm.
ridiculous. You even have to say that.
It's true.
Well,
Um,
Eric, we have the same problem in Arizona. They built that big alfalfa field out here west, and they were
mhm.
using millions of gallons of water when we already have a water shortage, and all the alfalfa was being shipped out of the country,
Hmm.
all of it. None of it
Oh
was for
yeah,
local
I remember
use.
that. Yep.
And they finally put a stop to that, I think, or at least they make us appear that they have. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on, and it's all about money interests. And you just
Yep.
need to get in there and fight and
Yeah.
show people what's really happening. So I
That's what I'm
appreciate what you're
doing.
doing.
And I'm becoming well known because I'm doing it. And they don't like it. I can tell you right now, they do not want me in there
Hmm.
because I'm not afraid to call it out. Well, you guys know you know who I am. I'm not doing this for some political career or whatever.
Mm-mm.
Um, I'm doing this because I have a background. Cheryl, like you said, many people in Arizona, they know me, or people across the country know me as the owner of Watson's Hat Shop, right?
Hmm.
But there's a little bit more to my background. I have a degree in international studies, which has to do with international policy and how that can affect our national or even our state policy. I have another degree in aviation technology. And so my wife and I, we met while we were in commercial pilot training, Emily and I. So able to tie these things in together because with the technology degree, I'm able to understand that EMF issue that we talk about with the data centers,
Hmm.
okay, with that background. With the National Security Memorandum issue, okay, and infringing our constitutional rights, I understand that that is occurring.
Hmm.
I understand what a surveillance state system is. I understand how to research credible information documents to support my position to show others the truth.
Hmm.
By the way, who did we know in Arizona during 2019 and earlier that was on the forefront of truth? Charlie Kirk.
Oh, yes, of course. Huge loss.
Yep. And we
Huge loss on
remember,
so many layers, so many
yeah,
areas.
and you guys remember when he just started out and he would go and talk to like a group of 20 people and
Yeah.
he had his starting. I remember that. And when I attended the presidential 2020 election integrity hearing, um it was 250 that were allowed to show up, and then at the last minute because of the COVID mandates or whatever, they cut it back to like 150. I remember that Charlie was able to come in during a recess or something. So he wasn't actually an attendee, but I believe he was able to come in during the recess period. But wow, we have issues with our election integrity for sure. And I want to bring this up. Marcel Stribich, please, anybody in Ohio. Marcel Stribich is a former lieutenant colonel, Intel, combat veteran for 20 years, and he worked at the Pentagon. This man wants to stop the fraud at the state level. He wants to make sure that our elections are secure and that everybody's voice is heard. Please, I don't usually say like who to vote for, but please vote for Marcel Stribich because for Secretary of State, by the way, because he knows what's happening. He served his country. He's not doing this for himself. He's doing this for his kids, for his family, and for future generations, same way that I'm doing this. And he actually supported me publicly. I'm the only state candidate he came out and supported, and I support him. But he's in the lead in the state of Ohio, and the establishment will still not support him at the state level,
Wow.
even though he's in the lead.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
Well, we do need to wrap up. We could keep on talking. There's so many issues, but I think you really did kind of define some of the key ones that touch people in their homes, right? This is why
Yeah.
you should care about who's running for office instead of just, oh, I know the name, you know, name recognition. I'll just vote for whoever's currently sitting there. I'm so encouraged to hear that people are coming out to the debates and pushing your name forward, and we're proud to do that as
Thank
well.
you.
And I just wish you the very best in your efforts there, because you're right, we don't have time to wait. But tell folks, every election it runs on manpower and money power. So tell folks how
Yeah.
they can help with your campaign and
Yep.
follow the work that you're doing.
So anybody out there, I don't care if it's Arizona or Ohio or wherever, please, if you're able to donate and contribute to my campaign, you can go to ericwatson4ohio.com, and that's Eric Watson for FOR Ohio.com. You can give right there, contribute to the campaign because Cheryl's absolutely right. Unfortunately, it takes money, and because I'm going up against establishment, it takes a lot of money. And but here's the thing, we only need enough money for the campaign so that we can advertise and get out there and do the things that we need to do so that I have a strong name recognition, which is already growing. Um, but I'm going up against an incumbent. That's the reality. And also Marcel Stribich is too. And all the America First candidates are. They're going up against incumbents. Um, so that is the reality. Of course, I don't like asking for money, but in this particular case, um, I have to.
Yes,
And please, if you're able, give $10, $25, $100, $1,000. Please give whatever you can because we we have to win this. We got to do this for our country and our future and our future generations. If we're going to have the same country which we currently have with, and hopefully we'll have a better one than
Mm,
what we currently are in right now at the moment,
mm-hmm.
where we're not having the potential of our constitutional rights infringed on. So,
Absolutely.
and better
I,
representation. That's what we need. We need great representation that puts us first, we the people.
Absolutely.
and I want to make a comment, all you Arizonans, especially out in the Cave Creek area, if you wear a hat, you don't, if you didn't buy it from Eric's hat shop, Watson's hat shop.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Eric. We appreciate you, appreciate Emily. We'll be praying for you, and God bless.
Yes, thank you. Prayer is so underlooked and prayer is so strong, so important. And thank you very much. So
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
We'll
bless
talk
you
soon.
both.
God
Bye-bye.
bless you. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
My goodness, it's like you can't just coast along in life.
No,
You can't just be like, "Oh, everything's gonna be okay." And um,
you can't.
and
In
I
everything, business, life, you know, we're going to lose our rights, people.
we
And I don't,
might lose our life. Like if all of our water gets poisoned.
yeah, I don't know about this AI stuff. I'm still reluctant. I, I think the world could do it. I think the world could do without cell phones. Okay, that's how
Okay.
extreme I am.
Well,
Because
we've experienced
wait,
it.
I remember what it was like.
Yes.
Remember when you and I used to have conversations? Remember?
Now I'll text you from the
Right.
kitchen.
So it
You'll
started out
text me from
it
the den.
started out the cell phone was a leash. That's
Mhm.
that's what I call it back then. It was a leash. It's much more than that now. But anyway, you talk about AI and all. Look how much simpler life was back in the 70s and 80s.
Mm.
I mean, it was just so they say
Right, but these
all this.
things are already
Oh,
moving
I
forward.
know,
They are
Mom.
happening.
I know,
All we can do is put guardrails around
but
it,
I
I think.
I argue that people say that computers and all this other stuff saves time.
Hmm.
But it doesn't save time. Even if you manage your phone, it doesn't save time. because you got the 47 texts, you got the 50 spam calls, you got the whatever. I mean, I think the cell phones is the greatest thing for like a business because, you can be reached at any time while you're driving your car or whatever. But then you get the 50 spam calls, you get the other crap, and it's like, no, they don't save time. So anyway, I am reluctant with the AI stuff. I would just wish we'd go back to the 80s.
You know what
Not the
that
music though.
you know what that remind Oh, what?
Some of the music was good.
I love 80s
Some of the
music.
music good. West country music was terrible in the 80s,
All right, I'll give you that.
except for that
But
one song. But
you
anyway,
know what? You just reminded me of, remember back when we were on terrestrial radio and we had Dan's commentary, because really it was kind of like Dan's rant.
um,
Do you remember? That's right.
and I used to be able to rant when the mic was a little freer for me, but now that's under control too. I'm not allowed to say, and then I'm not allowed, and
Where's my button?
um,
Where's my button? All right, we really have to get on out of here, but thank you so much to Eric Watson. I so appreciate what you're doing there, Eric. Please keep
hats
speaking
off to
up.
you, Eric.
Hats off to you, Watson's Hat Shop. Uh-huh. And thank you to our awesome audience. Wherever we have internet, we have people who are so hungry for this information that we share here. If you want to watch this video over again or share it with your friends, which we highly recommend, you can find us on YouTube or Rumble. Please hit the subscription and notification button. It helps those platforms know that you value this information. If you want to listen to the audio only version or share any of our 500 and now one episodes, go to our website, gunfreedomradio.com, click the on demand tab, and
Binge listen to your heart's content,
darling.
darling.
And if you want to see photos and bios and links to Eric and all of our guests that we've ever had on, click the guest tab. It's an ever-growing database of subject matter experts, and when you spend time there, we don't hate that. All right, very quickly, we need to appreciate the organizations that help fuel the work that we do. As we were just talking about cell phones, they are not going away. We all have them. We use them for text and selfies and phone calls. And every time the monthly bill comes, you are likely paying a company.
She just told me that she uses a phone for phone calls.
That's,
No, you don't.
that's true. I don't like to talk on the phone. This is a true statement.
Okay.
Anyway, every time you pay that monthly bill, you are likely sending money to an organization and a company that is not in alignment with your values, but you can change that today by going to patriotmobile.com/GFR for Gun Freedom Radio. You'll get some free goodies and you will help fuel the work that we do with every phone that gets switched over. This is Patriot Mobile, the only Christian conservative wireless provider in America that shares your values. Keep your number, keep your phone, and keep your values. patriotmobile.com/GFR. And sticking with that, American made, American jobs on American soil. PatriotHousehold.com is an invitation only shopping club, and we are inviting you today. So every time you buy your laundry soap, your skincare, your delicious snacks,
Steaks.
even your steaks and hamburger,
Can't make a mistake with that one.
if you will shop with patriothousehold.com, you will have your order delivered directly to your door. It could not be any more convenient. I set my order and forget it. Other people place their order as they need things. Patriothousehold.com/GFR. And just finally, on our homepage, if you will scroll down, gunfreedomradio.com, scroll down to attorneys on retainer. That needs to be part of your preparedness plan. You've already trained, you've already carried your tool of self-defense. Sometimes you even have a tourniquet, so you have tools to save lives. If you have to save your own life, whether it's with a firearm, a knife, a rock, whatever it is, the law will visit itself upon you, and you will need an attorney on retainer. And our family, our clients, we are members, and I encourage you to do the same. All right, until next time, we need to,
Pray for our nation.
we need to,
Pray for our leaders.
and what about the ones we don't like?
We're not going to talk about those.
We're going to pray for them too, maybe especially for them. And we thank you again. Until next time, be good to each other. Have a great week, and God bless.
Bye-bye.